Hey guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And Peter doesn't just only like to read books, Peter likes to write books as well. And Peter considers himself somewhat of a storyteller. A liar? Perhaps, I don't know. But yes, I love to tell stories, whether it's just like verbally with my friends, standing outside, driving around the country, on road trips, talking on the phone, writing them down. I love to tell stories, which is partly what happens when I go off on these huge tangents on my videos, which you guys are probably used to by now. And for me, that is kind of translated in my life into me developing fictional stories and writing them down and combining parts of my true life, parts of my real life with fictional pieces, and we call that lying. So yes, I'm a liar, a professional liar, but I also am a reader, and my nose is bothering me because of my beard. So, and I could make up a fantastic story about that, about a guy who refuses to trim his beard because, I don't know, because, yeah, I didn't make such a great story about that. Are you guys going along with the writing a book with me over 8 weeks, which is now going to be 9 weeks? I almost counted 7. Which is now going to be 9 weeks. And so let me explain this. So last week, I wanted to do 8 weeks of writing my book. And last week, when I put up the video, I talked about how we were going to write a book over the course of 8 weeks. And then I was kind of like, I say things and do things, like the one video where I went 20 but did 30. I don't really think sometimes of what I'm saying. And so like I was halfway through the week and I was like writing some outlining up on my book. And I was like, okay, so last week was week 8 or week 1 out of 8 weeks. So if we start it next week, that's actually only 7 weeks for writing the book. So this is going to be a 9-week kind of like write along, so to speak. So last week I talked about all the things that we needed to do to prepare for writing the book. I talked about picking an idea. If you haven't watched the video and you want to join along with us, please go watch that video. I mean, you can just start your 9 weeks whenever you want. It's like you don't have to start it when we started it. You can start it whenever. That being said, I am going to, after this one is done, I'm going to do several writing courses. Probably every time I'm writing a book, I'm going to do kind of like a write-along video sessions, whatever you want to call them, for you guys to follow along with me. And also, but most importantly, to hold myself accountable to writing and finishing a book. I love making these videos. I love making BookTube videos. And so for me to have kind of some accountability for my writing through that, I think would be fantastic. And maybe that will work for you too. So anyway, if you don't follow along with this one, you can always do the next one. A lot of people said they wanted to write a book. I was actually really surprised by the amount of positive responses that I got about how many people were like, I've had a book idea and I've wanted to start it and I never have and whatever. Start it. Oh my God. I wish I had, if I knew how easy it was to write a book and get it published, I wish I had done it 20 years ago. Seriously. Like I had so many ideas when I was 19. And in fact, I think I've become somewhat scared as I've gotten older. And I think I was maybe more of a riskier writer and a more dangerous writer 20 years ago than I am today, if that makes sense. Like I would have taken some risks that I don't know that I would take today. So anyway, that being said, which I say in my videos like 10 times, that being said, I should just call my videos that being said. Last week I told you to pick an idea, to kind of let it simmer in your head for a few days. The characters, the place, where you want it to go, and then make a commitment to it. And then after you did that, to make an outline and to turn those into chapters. Did you guys do that? Have you done that? Okay, so I'm going to be really honest with you. I did not read any of my comments for the last week until last night, and then I sat outside and I literally read like 10 or 15. I read all of the comments for the last 7 weeks, or 7 days, 7 weeks, that would take me forever, and responded to all of them. And so the book that I am currently working on, that I only have like 30% left of, was the book that I was going to continue to work on over the next 8 weeks. But I've had this idea that's a shorter book that I wanted to also put out there. And I don't know why, and this is going to sound very strange to some people, or other people will be like, I totally get it. But I'm a believer in signs from the universe, and that things make sense to me. And like, if, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, like, maybe I should buy a lottery ticket, and then I happen to drive by somewhere and there's a sign flashing lottery, like to me, that says like buy a lottery ticket. I know it's crazy, but that's how I work. So anyway, this other idea was kind of like floating around in my head. Excuse me. And it kind of has something to do with YouTube. And as I was reading all of these comments, I was like, this is the book that I'm supposed to write. Like, this is the book that right now I'm supposed to write, this next one. So that idea came to me in the 11th hour last night. And so all day today, I've been thinking about it, letting it simmer in my head. I've actually been working on this idea for a very long time and have lots of notes about it. I have a whole book here on notes, but I have not outlined it yet, and I have not put my chapters together. So that is my goal for today, and then to start writing it. So did you guys do that? Do you have your outline together? I'm just being honest because I need to hold myself accountable. So it's not like I'm starting and I'm going, hello, I'm Perfect Peter and I'm ready to write. Here we go. No, that ain't it, honey. So anyway, but I'm very committed to this idea, and it's weird because it's not the idea, like the number 1 idea, it's not the number 2 idea, it's not the number 4 idea, it's probably like 6th or 7th, but I really think it's timely, and I think that it needs to be told. So, and I'm really engrossed by the characters and kind of falling in love with them in my head. And for me, that's like, I love to write. Like, I love to write and be a storyteller and develop worlds and all that kind of stuff. And when I say worlds, that doesn't necessarily mean fantasy worlds. I mean, I love developing worlds of characters, where, how they interact, where they live, what that looks like, you know, things like that. I love to write just as much as I love to read. So I have to get very excited and passionate about the book that I'm about to write, because if not, then it feels like a chore. It feels like something I have to do, and I hate that. So I don't want to write that book. That's never going to be the book that I want to write. The book that I feel like is, you know, this hard labor, if that makes sense. So the first thing that I always do is I kind of come up in my head with how many pages I would like the book to do, just as an aiming point. It doesn't need to mean that that's where it's going to end up. It could be 100 pages more. It could be 100 pages less. I believe the story will go where it needs to go, okay? For example, in my last book, my chapters, each chapter was about 10 or 15 pages. I mean, some were very short and others were very long, but I didn't expect that to be my number. I thought like 8, 9 pages a chapter would be how it fell out, and it just didn't fall out that way. So the process changes for me as I go, and I allow really my characters to take life and tell the story that they need to tell. And so my next book is also a book in first person, like my other book was. So she's just going to have to go. There's my hint. It's a she. She's just going to have to go where she needs to go. So, but what I typically do is I pick a page number, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to aim at 300 pages. And 300 pages for the next 8 weeks comes out to 38 pages a week, which is 5.5 pages a day. And I think, as a writer, that is totally, totally doable, okay? At the end of writing my novel, I was writing 10 to 20 pages a day. I think there was one day that I wrote like 30 pages a day. I will never do that again. I was so engrossed in the story that I just was like telling. So if you guys need word numbers, that comes out to about 80,000 words. You know, young adult novels sometimes are between 70 and 80. Adult novels are more like 100 to 150. 150 is a really long novel. Any good editor or publisher will make you really size that down. I mean, when people talk about how their novels are 200,000-300,000 words, like, baby, get out the pen. Like, that's a lot. And I am somebody that loves to read shorter books, so I'm going to probably write shorter books. So anyway, 80,000 words for me is great. My last book was 78,000 words, and I think it came out to something like 289 pages, which is 10,000 words a week, which comes out to about 1,450 words a day. 250 words a page comes out to, which is normal, comes out to about 5.5 pages, so it all works out. So yeah, I'm real excited about it. I don't think 5.5 pages a day is a lot. I can easily write 8 to 10 pages a day. I just know my writing style. Okay, and then the way I do it is I do not go back and edit. I write it straight through, and then I read the rough draft, and I edit the parts that I need to change. I kind of have the idea so cemented in my head that I don't go back typically and change a lot, if that makes sense. So then, once I have all that done and I have all that ready, the next thing a writer needs to do is get prepared to write. So, number one, I need to figure out as a writer, when do I like to write best? You know, I have so many friends of mine that are very well-known published writers, that they get up and they have their coffee, send the kids to work, and they go to their writing place, wherever that is, an office or a nook or whatever, and a nook, and they write for like 8 hours and take a lunch break and they see it as a job. Like, I do not work that way. Last time I came home, took a nap till 8 or 9 o'clock at night, went and got a cup of coffee, came back, and I wrote through till straight or 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I am a night writer. That's when I write. That's what works best for me. So I know I will be writing this novel at night. So when will you be writing your novel? And then the next thing I need to do, and this is huge for me, is that I need to remove any distractions before I start writing. So that means I need to take the dogs out. I need to clean. Cleaning is huge for me. I'm very OCD, you guys. And so if you saw my condo, you would see that it's like very straight and orderly. And dust is huge for me. I know this sounds nutty, but if I'm sitting there trying to work on a novel and I look at the table and it's dusty, I'm gonna look for distractions to go and take me away from the writing. So I have to sit down and I have to get up and go clean everything that I possibly can, which takes me like a half an hour, a week, maybe, to just get that stuff cleaned up so that there are no distractions. The next thing I need to do is I need to have in my immediate area everything I need. So the first thing I'm always gonna need is coffee, of course. And my favorite coffee is Cafe Bustelo, and I love this. I think it's a Mexican coffee, actually. Yeah, I think it's Mexican, but it comes from it's an espresso coffee. And then I have to have my favorite writing coffee mug, which is my Winter Wonderland Waffle House coffee mug. And this one's new. I got it last year. Look, it's 2015. I love it. And then I always need to have candles. I'm somebody that needs to write with a lot of candles. I like mood lighting. My favorite candle are these Capri Blue candles. You can get them in Anthropologie. They're super expensive. I mean, seriously, they're like $30 or $40 a candle, but they last forever. I think they burn like 1,000 hours or something. Oh my God, can you smell that? Oh my God! I'm looking at the monitor. Anyway, so good. And then for me, you guys, I usually take my contacts out when I write, so I need to have my glasses on. And I have 3 pairs of glasses. These are the glasses that I wore when I wrote my other novel, Warby Parker, and they broke. Look at that. I was so pissed the other day, you guys. I looked at it, I was like, these are broken. And then these are the first pair of glasses. I hate these Ray-Bans, you guys. Everybody has Ray-Bans, but these Ray-Bans look so bad on me. I just hate them. And then these were super cheap. I got them from like Googles.com or Goggles.com, and they were like literally $15, and they're my favorite glasses. I love them. So anyway, yeah, and that's what I need to have around me. I'm like looking. And then the next thing I need to do is I just need to get writing. Like, writers write. I just need to sit down and be committed to it, you guys. And the way that I work is that I either allow a certain page number, like I need to write like 2 pages and then take a break, or 2 hours and take a break. I usually set a time limit in my head, like I'm gonna write for 6 hours, or I'm gonna write for 4 hours, or 1 hour, or whatever. And then I can kind of break it down, and that works really, really well for me. You guys, I have to remember, I'm sorry for that long break. What did I just say? Francesca, you commented on this, and I told you the next time it was going to be for you. You're like, give me a second. I guess in all my videos, I always go, give me a second, and then I like pause and take a break. So Francesca, that's for you. But anyway, I loved your comment about that. The next thing I have to realize is that I am writing for fun. I am writing to be a storyteller, to get a story out there that I want to tell. What's that? To tell in the world, you guys. Like, I don't want this to be a job. I don't want it to feel like I'm burdened by it. So if I need to skip a day, that's okay. If I want to write one night for 15 hours and the next night for an hour, that's okay. I see all these videos with people and they're like, I only got 15,000 words done tonight and I need to get... That's why for me, like that NaMo month, which I think is such a great project, but I would be literally down to like 4 days before the end of the month, and I'd be like, I have to write 20,000 words a day or I'm not gonna get it done. Like, that's who I am as a person. So you guys, I like have to be able to just be like, look, okay, I gotta give myself some breaks. The problem is I've given myself 2 years of breaks. I was supposed to have my second book done 2 years ago. My publisher, you know who you are. Thank you so much. She has worked so closely with me and been so genuinely sweet on giving me the time that I needed. So, and then the next thing I wanted to say is, yeah, that, you know, you got to figure out why you're telling this story, what you want your feelings and emotions to be as you go through it. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to laugh. I bawl when I write my books, you guys. Like, there's a scene in the movie Romancing the Stone where she's at the end of her book and she's like, that's really good. Like, I've done that at parts where, like, nobody has ever commented on it later, but I'm proud of it. Even if it's just, like, one sentence, like, I really love, I'm so proud of it. So, let me know in the comment section below if you guys are following along, if you set any goals number-wise for yourself or whatever, or if you're just gonna write and, hey, see how it goes. That's awesome, too. And ask me any questions you have. Yeah. And tweet me any questions. Follow me on all my social media. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. And subscribe to my channel. I mean, you guys, it's free. What is free in the world, right? And I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.